Hey guys, Seth here with a brand new game to showcase for you today called Ash Echoes. Now this game has just come out worldwide and I want to thank Ash Echoes for sponsoring today's video and giving me early access to play it out. You can download the game right now if you click on the link in the description if you like what you see, and you can get involved and play the game. Now Ash Echoes is a pretty cool mix of tower defense meets hero collector meets deep strategy real-time combat. It's quite an interesting mix of different mechanics I've seen across various different games before, but never really in the same way as we see in Ash Echoes. You can play this game on auto, but intervene and use your combat skills where you most need it at the most amount of times. There's lots of flexibility and a lot of deep strategy involved. It has a grid system, but it's also tower defense. It's quite a cool mix. So we're going to have a look at some combat in this video. I'm also going to take you a rundown through all of the different characters that I've been able to acquire so far, and also take a look at the game modes. There is a pretty cool roguelike game mode which you need to do to power up your character leader. It's quite a clever take on roguelike. We all like to see them in these types of games. So we're going to take a look at all those game systems. We're going to take a look at the combat and how you use the strategy of the combat to get the most out of your characters. So let's take a look first at the characters. Now it is of a sort of anime art style. If that is what you're into, this is really, really cool. You'll really like it. It has got that real kind of modern, clean vibe. It's been optimized for PC as well as available on mobile. So you can download it on Android, iOS and PC, and I've been playing it on PC so far and it is very, very clean. I have to say, it's not been ported over in a very bad way. It's been optimized beautifully for PC. So we can have a look. Our characters are called Echomancers. I've done a little bit of summoning here just to get sort of into the mix of it, to pull out some different characters to see what we've got. You can see here I've got a 6-star available. I've already got one 6-star available, a Corrosion Laurel. I have to say, it looks really, really cool. The artwork, the animation, the graphics, it does look very cool. We're going to do a deep dive on the characters in a moment. We're going to probably pull a few more just to show you the summoning systems first. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed so far with the variety of characters that we have so far. We've got various different classes. There is an element system, but it's not your traditional affinity system in which you have kind of like one beats the other. You have to sort of mix and match the elements to get elemental reactions. You might be wondering, what do you want about elemental reactions? Well, you can see there's a little symbol on all of the characters here. These are elements. Elements are like lightning, fire, physical. So let's take a look at Mars here. Mars is a lightning element, and what Mars is able to do is effectively interact with other elements to create secondary effects. So you can see lightning Echomancers here deal lightning damage. They can participate in elemental reactions but don't generate a zone. So on the map, when you're in battle, you'll see zones on the floor, and when you take this lightning guy in and he starts attacking, doing damage inside a water zone, he can trigger electroconduct, which is going to apply paralyze to enemy units, rendering them unable to take enemy actions, basically stun. So you're really using the element, the combat in the battle, and then triggering using deep strategy to be able to optimize your battle in your favor. If you do it on fire, for example, you'll trigger explosion, which deals additional damage. So if you really need to burst damage, you obviously want to take lightning and fire together. Someone who can create a fire zone and then lightning on top to deal damage. If you want the ice zone, it's to make you take less damage. It'll reduce the enemy's attack by 33% while they're in the zone. So we're going to look at that when we're in combat as well. But this is where the deep strategy comes into it. You need to be able to go, okay, let's see if I can find someone who can create a fire zone, right? That's what we're looking for. Is this person able to create a fire zone? We can bring our lightning characters and be able to do significant amounts of damage. Well, that's kind of like the deep system here. We've also got some key archetypes here in terms of sort of defenders and bulwarks and vanguards, damage dealers in terms of skirmishers, strikers, rangers. Then we have some support. There's a special element called corrosion, which seems to do a lot of clever things with your base. You're effectively what you're defending in the tower defense. Let's look at the summoning system. Obviously, you need to acquire heroes. It's very important in all these types of games. How do we get them? You're going to be getting Echomancers. We got the Echomancer pull here. You also have a system called memory traces. They're a way of basically boosting your director, your leader in your team, using the stats and unlocking powerful abilities. It's kind of like the second tier of progression when you're team building. This is a system that's currently locked behind a few features. I've tried it a little bit, and I'm still learning this system. There is a lot of depth to this system. You've got to upgrade them. It'll give you different bonuses, and then you can have different team configurations. But what we're really looking at here is the Echomancer. So I'm going to summon 10 of these. You can see what we're going to get. I managed to get myself a Laurel. It's a 1.2% chance, which is really, really good. The nice thing about this game as well, you can see every single time you collect a character here. So I've got full history, so I can see what kind of duplicates I've got. There's a duplicate system to upgrade one of your abilities, which is kind of cool. But it's a pretty cool system. We're going to do a Resonance 10 pull here. Let's pull out 10 characters. We're going to put it into overdrive. I think the red tells me we got another big pull. We'll have a look now. So we're looking out. Let's see. We got another big pull. I really do love these little reveals. You kind of know one's big. So we'll see what's behind the legendary. And that is going to be a Raw. Hey, I'm Raw. Cerberus' very own weapon specialist. So looks to be like a fire with a ranger. Rangers are kind of long distance damage dealers. But the big Anchor 9 is going to be Tong. Okay, another 6-star. He looks to be a physical type. Physical types don't really have elemental reactions, but they can interact with the zones. Okay, and we can skip the rest so we can see what else we get here. We've got Chang Wow. So there's quite a lot of characters to collect here. I'm fortunate enough that I've had a few summons given to me from the team over at Ash Echoes, just so we can see the full potential that you could have as you play the game. We can skip through here. We got Emaha. Kind of cool looking dude. Look at this. Lightning Ranger, by the looks of it. Another legendary here with Shu, who is a physical bulwark, so a defender. Lots of legendaries. Shirato, Azusa. Excellent. So, I mean, the summoning system is pretty cool. Every so many rewards, you get a one-time reward. So the first 30 you were able to pick one of these once. I picked myself a duplicate Laurel. I figured that was a good idea. And in terms of like the mercy system here, there's all these rules and details you can see in terms of the probability and the mercy that happens here. Once you get the duplicates, it becomes vouchers and you upgrade them. So pretty cool, pretty straightforward, easy to understand system. You always don't want to have complex summoning mechanics here. You want to know exactly what you're going to get. And it's pretty cool to pull them all out. So I'm still pulling out new legendaries. That's always a good feeling after pulling about sort of 50 that you still feel like you're getting something new. That's really, really cool. We'll pull one more. See if we can get a bigger pull or if we're going to leave it at that. Awesome. Take a deep dive a little bit into some of these characters. Like I mentioned, there is classes. Bulwarks, Vanguards are pretty much front lines. You want to have them to protect your team, protect your base. Then we got Strikers and Skirmishers. They are basically pretty much DPS. Rangers are more like long ranged, strikers are more melee, skirmishers are kind of in between. Then we have supports, which will help heal you, and then tacticians that are going to apply sort of crowd control and status effects. We have 1, 4, 5, and 6-star levels, 6-star being the strongest. And then we have these physical elements. So they don't really negatively or positively interact with each other, but they can create combinations. You can put lightning with fire or ice, and you can create combinations. Corrosion is a special one. Now, the reason why corrosion is a bit of a special element here, I've only got one of them, but what corrosion does is quite cool. It will effectively place corrosion accumulation on your base. And once that stacks up, it outputs a mass amount of damage. You can consider it like poison. It's very cool. I've only just started playing with it a little bit because I've just managed to get my this character here, who is a bit of a tank and defense, right? We can see from the top, it's a bulwark. So it's a vanguard, so it's going to basically taunt and force enemies to fight it, which is pretty cool, very important. Now you have 3 main abilities. You have an active, an auto, and a seed. Now the seed ability is the duplicate system. You need to get more than one of the character, then you can update your seed system. It comes with various different bonuses you can see as you increase. So the first bonus here, I was able to unlock this new trait. When you go to 1 and 3, you get a new trait. Pretty cool. So she kind of becomes a very strong leader for us. Now, these other abilities, they are active abilities. Normally, some active abilities will have limited usage, so you've got to be careful how often you use them. And then the auto will happen all the time with a 20-second cooldown. You can upgrade these abilities by just basically playing the game and doing the content. As you can see here, I need to upgrade to S2 to do that. Now, you might be wondering what S2, that is Ascension. Now, to do that, you need to get some alloys, which you can farm in the game, and that will give you base stats and give you additional ability unlocks effectively. So you need to ascend them. Once you've ascended them, you can upgrade the abilities, you get duplicate of them, and then that upgrades your seed. So it's a very deep progression curve. I really enjoy it. I really like it. I haven't unlocked this fitness training yet. I need to play a bit more of the game. Now, the other two, I've not seen this guy here. What is he? He's a Ranger Physical, a summon DPS. Okay, that's new. So Ranger is an extremely long range attack, excelled at long range combat. And physical damage dealers do not participate in elemental reactions, like I said, but they can benefit from it. So they get, I guess, damage reduction from vaporize. So they're a bit more, they don't really interact with the same systems. But what we got here, we've got a guided missiles, unleash a barrage of missiles to bombard the target area, intercepting all projectiles in the area, dealing physical damage. Now, there is one thing that I haven't mentioned yet, which is important for the combat, is there is a difference between melee on the ground, ranged on the ground, and aerial units. Now, what rangers are really good for are dealing with any combat units that are going to be aerial. Some melees, a lot of strikers can't actually do that. This guy's going to be great at taking down any aerial opponents that we face. The thing about the seed skill is it doesn't happen all the time. You've got to charge it up, so it'll take a while for you to get the seed. Sometimes it requires conditions as well. This is some of the battle we're going to look at in a moment. So I think that's enough of the characters here. They look really cool. There's a big variety of them. You can see all the red dots here. For all you red dot warriors out there, there's a button that they've created that you can click the button and it will tell you all the things you need to update. We can see we've got seed evolution we can do for Begonia here. We increase the seed level 2. That gives us a bonus to the ability, and it will also give us the trait unlock. You always get a trait unlock at level 1 seed. So there's a red dot button. You can work your way through the red dots. I know you red dot warriors out there will really, really appreciate this feature in this game. So let's get into some combat here. So I'm going to take us into a field op, which is basically a dungeon, and I've got my director here set up. Now, I did say before that the director basically established these traces. You can see these little bonuses that basically give you stats depending on what you have. So I've got a few here. I've got an S1 here. This is basically giving me effectively 12 attack, 3 missed, and 5 of this TRM stat. So these stats here all go in and boost the stats of your characters. So you can see overall, my leaders give me 211 attack, 186 defense, 248 missed, which is obviously used for sort of multiplying damage or healing power. And then we also have the TRM, which is for crit rate, crit damage, and basic DR. So all of these stats will basically go in and boost the stats of our characters in the team. We also have an inspire skill. This basically happens every single time something in battle takes place, and you can upgrade this passively as you progress and get more of these bonuses. I'm still learning this. That system I haven't explored as much, but it is very, very deep. Now, it's going to tell me the tactical engraving is too low, so we absolutely could lose this. I'm just going to swap out a character here because we absolutely need to bring a support, otherwise we have no chance. So I'm going to use Laurel, and I'm going to use Yuki here. I'm going to bring out Pris, and I'm now going to bring in the new ranger, which is Tong. We're going to bring him in here. And let's bring this into battle. We'll see how it goes. It could be bad. We do not know. I've not tried this zone. I saw the red flag. I stepped away. But it gives me an opportunity to kind of showcase, hopefully, some of the battle. So you can see the engraving stats here are going to boost all of the stats of my characters. And then you have the option of 6 characters in a battle, which means you can only deploy 4. This is the battle system here. You can see there's a grid. It's tower defense. So I need to protect my tower defense here in the middle, but I can choose where I start with whom I want. So I'm going to pull out all of them so far. We're going to pull them all out, and we're going to say, okay, well, I want my vanguard at the front. That makes sense. And I'm going to go defensive with a bulwark as well. I'm going to have my healer at the back, and then I've got some options here. I can bring a striker if I want to. I'm going to bring a ranger. I'm going to start with the ranger at the back here. Wow, he looks great. He looks like Mr. X over the back there. So you've got a grid system, so you can position them strategically depending on what you want. Now, obviously, we all know tanks in the front, supports in the back, but they could come from all angles. So what you're going to see is some important fighting that's going to go on here, what you can do during the battle. Now, we've got to take note of the condition. It's a dry environment, so it speeds up the evaporating water of water terrain and slows down the disappearance of fire. So what does that tell me as a player? Fire is good. I want to bring fire. So actually, maybe I should consider bringing the Reed into the fight because he is Incinerate. Or I can consider bringing something else. But right now, I'm just going to leave it as is. We'll see how it goes. But that's something you could do. You always want to take account of the environment. So we're going to have an Inspire bonus as well. We're going to get a little bit bonus here. The enemy is going to come at us. Let's just see how it goes. Let's go into the battle here. Now, you've got some options for autoplay and also ×2. So I'm going to put it on ×2 here. Now, you can see what I've got here is I've got things charging at the bottom. This is the seed skill. It's going to take some time for this to charge up before we can use it. Right now, we're doing okay. We're holding on. But I'm going to expect that something is going to happen soon that we're going to struggle. Right now, we're kind of defeating all the enemies as they come in. But what we can do here is we can say, I want to reposition my character. He's in a risky position. If someone was to come over here, I can reposition my character so that he can start protecting the base from behind. One of the biggest problems with tower defense sometimes is you set it all up and then you go, I can't do anything. They're coming from a different angle. In this, you can absolutely reposition. There's taunt abilities, and you can decide when you want to do this, or you can let the engine fight. So you can see I can move him wherever I want in this sphere. So right now I'm going to move him forward here. I'm going to say go, reposition, and he runs forward. We can also then use an AoE attack if we want to. So you can choose where you want to attack the target. Right now it doesn't make any sense because I have no enemies. So we're going to basically just let the fight go on for a little bit further. You can see the fight duration at the top. It said I was going to struggle, but I am absolutely obliterating them. We're going to use this now, see what he does. Tong's unleashing all sorts of damage on the enemy. And you can see the other thing that's going on is this corrosion blast. So every single time Laurel here is kind of, you know, doing her thing, you can see she's moving around. We're building up the corrosion blast number. And what that's going to do eventually is it's going to do a lot of damage. Now, ideally, you want more corrosions. I've only got the one. So that's something to consider. She is actually struggling right now. She can't position herself. So it's starting to come out hot, but again, we can just AoE. But you can absolutely let this do this for you because you can press the button at the top right. I don't know why the game told me to be careful. We absolutely obliterated it. We can see now what we're going to have. We're going to have normal weather. The engraving power comes in. Let's see, what is this? Normal weather here, medium evaporations of all types. So nothing really special about this environment. I'm going to bring this time in. I'm going to take him out. We don't need another defender, I think. Let's take out our defender. We're going to leave Laurel in the front line. We're going to put our ranger at the back. And we're going to basically run... let's run our lightning guy and keep our healer at the back here. Let's go. Like I said, you can run autoplay at the top here. So you don't actually have to manually do everything. But you can absolutely control it, though, if something is going wrong, right? You can intervene on auto to use the abilities as you need. Like you can see right now, I've got an enemy at the back there. That could have been a problem. Fortunately, it's still quite early in the progression, so these opponents are struggling against me. But I absolutely might need to position someone at the back. So what can I do? I can reposition him at the back here. I can tell him to go up here and fight the opponents at the back here. That's the value of this real-time combat action. You can adjust your tower defense midway through. It's giving me that kind of RTS meets tower defense. I've not seen that in a combo before. It's quite a fun strategy, and I'm sure there's a lot of depth that I'm not even touching in terms of the elemental reactions. Being able to place a fire zone down. We might try that in the next one here. We've just got some seed abilities here. We can see our first seed ability. We might as well just use it. This is the one that we've been waiting to power up. Here we go. Wow, look at this. Cinematic experience. She's going to play the piano. Be careful, everyone. It's going to be real. Okay, I have no idea, but all of a sudden the corrosion blast is massive. So, and we can do another AoE attack here. Let's use this as well. Let's see what he's got. Maximum disruption. Oh, I think he just annihilated the enemy. So those seed abilities are the big ultimate power. You absolutely want to use them at the right time for your team. Those ones will not fire on auto. You need to use them at the right time. The last thing I want to show you here right now is the roguelike system called Echoing Nexus. Now, it's an important game mode because what it allows you to do is make one of your characters the ability to become a leader. And once they become a leader, you get their engraving. And it's kind of like this system where you need to go as deep as you can. So we're going to go through this system. I'm going to use Laurel. I really want to get her engraving because I feel like this is a very powerful leader. So what we're going to need to do is pick the memory traces that we've collected. So this is the first thing we need to do. And you're starting with a character, and then the memory traces are going to empower her. So what do we want first? I think we're going to go for some attack ones. I absolutely want some TRM so we can get some critical damage. And then I feel like I'm going to go with the highest level. Now, there is a friend system in here. If you've got your friends, you can get an aiding hero and a trace. That'll help you just boost your character if you want. You don't have to have it if you don't want to, but I'm going to just pick one up here, which is really great. So we're going to move forward here. And it is like a roguelike. So if you've never played a roguelike system, roguelikes are essentially decision-based game modes where you don't know what decision you're going to be faced with and you need to make the decision. So we're going to see what we get here. So we're going to interact with the first event. We're going to move forward. And we have our first encounter. So we're going to fight these out. And it's a completely different game mode to the tower defense here. This is a progression-based game mode. Now, we can continue to depth 2 if we want, but it will get more powerful. Let's do that. Let's go straight to the power level. And we're going to get our first decision gate. So it's going to tell us what do we want to get. Do we want to get attack, mist, or TRM? I'm going to say increase my TRM stat. And then I'm going to get a Trace Awakening, which is going to allow me to basically unlock a power-up. Excellent. I'm going to pick that. I can play the story if I want to. There's a deep story to this game. If you are someone who really loves the stories behind games, there's a lot of audio playback here. You can absolutely read it. I'm going to skip forward on this just because if we listen to all of this, it's actually quite a long story. But I highly recommend people take the time to really enjoy the game. We've got another encounter here, so we're going to move forward and we're going to fight our way through. And again, we can go deeper if we want, but we can see the recommended defense is 100. Right now, my defense is a bit weak. So I'm going to continue on this first, and we're going to try and get some defense up on the next boost. So what do we get here? Get stat increased with this Traces Illuminated. Okay, well, we're going to upgrade. I absolutely would like some defense. I haven't got some, so I'm going to take the TRM instead. And we're going to activate a bonus. We're going to move forward. So we're in zone 2 here. There's another story we could listen to. We're going to get some skill points. Now, skill points basically allow us to upgrade these skill points at the end. I'm going to take that there. That seems like a good load. So now we got our first choice. Do we want to go a stat platform or skill platform? So do I want a stat bonus or a skill bonus? I'm going to go with stat platform because I need some defense. That is what I need right now. There's a danger zone. Conquer it to claim danger zone progress reward. Okay, let's do this. Let's select some Echomancers. So I absolutely want a front line. So we're going to have a Bulwark straight at the bat who's going to protect our back line. We're going to use Infa. And I'm basically going to try and build a lot of lightning team around her. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the elemental floor fire and then use lightning to basically create chain reactions of excess damage on top of it. That's the goal here. So we're gonna get bonus stats here. Great. Now we're back into what we would traditionally see as a fight. So this character here is going to be the character that is going to create the fire zone, and then we absolutely want lightning. Now I'm going to take out you two and I'm going to bring my support just because I think I'm going to need my support. We'll pair these two together. We're going to need a healer in here. And then we're going to bring the lightning. I'm going to bring a lightning guy in here. And this is what we're going to go. We're going to go an offense build. And what we want to do is we want to get this ability powered up so we create a puddle. Is puddles there? That's a water puddle already. But we absolutely want there to be fire instead. Oh, we need to reposition. Send it over here. Go. Now we need to reposition this. So you can see how repositioning is very important. The puddle's grown a lot here. So we're going to use the taunt, and that has absolutely obliterated that wave. But we have a massive water puddle. If we had interacted with the water on the ground, that would have done an elemental reaction. I didn't actually get to the seed that creates the fire for Inferno that we needed with that character. But we win. Let's move forward. What do we gain? Illumination gain. Let's get that. Still no defense. The game does not want to give me defense today at all whatsoever. But this is the fun thing about this mode. Effectively, every single decision you make is going to be different every single time. That is the goal of roguelike. And we can increase the depth mode 4 if we want. Again, I'm a bit nervous because the defense that we have got is quite low. We're getting vitality now. That might be something worth taking just in case. What do we got here? Study zone. Base value affected by depth, additional. Okay. So we've obtained a skill. When a single hit hits a single elite enemy, the extra damage is increased. Okay. So bit by bit, you're getting things. We're going to go stat platform again. Maybe we'll eventually get defense. But you can see my mental load is increasing, so I've got to be careful about the mental load. Let's bring more TRM. That's what we're going for. And we're going to bring some more skill points. Now, this is going to reduce our mental load because we're in a rest zone. That's what this is showing me. So we were at 50, so stats won't change. This is going to help us reduce that mental load further. I'm really impressed with this roguelike mode. It's quite deep. There's lots of different choices. It doesn't feel like every choice is the same. We're getting new bonuses all the time. I've got a choice here. Do I want to take Deep Corrosion? That seems like a very good idea because I've got a Corrosion lead. So this is the thing. You need to think. What character did I select? I selected a Corrosion character. Absolutely should take the Corrosion thing. I could keep going for the Coordinated Summon, but I think I'm going to go for some Vitality over here instead. Now, the nice thing about this also is if you need a break, you've been pushing really far, you can save and basically keep this alive, right? You can save, you won't lose any progress on your current sort of exploration of the roguelike, and you can come back at a later time and you can basically keep going effectively. It'll basically stay active until you go in and complete it. I'm going to leave it there. That is Ash Echoes. It is out right now. You can download it on iOS or Android, or you can download it to the PC as well. It's fully optimized for PC. You can get it on the link in my description. And if you download right now, you'll get 200 free pulls. You saw how much I got from just 50. I can pull another 10 more. That you'll get 200 free pulls. You could probably build out a pretty stable roster right now if you play the game. Let me know what you think. I've been having quite a lot of fun with it. I think there's so much more that I need to learn to play the game. There's so much about the elemental reactions, the memory traces, the deep level in progression system, the combat system. I haven't really had a fight yet that's really challenged me, and I know it's coming soon at some point when I start hitting that wall that we all will hit in these games. And thanks again to Ash Echoes for sponsoring this video, and make sure to check out the game using the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.